Hi guys, I'm Mark Joscelyne. I'm with Frame. I'm the head of tech ops in the public sector office in Reston. Who's heard of Frame? Okay, we got a couple. That's good. So I hadn't either until I joined in November, and this is my first Azure Gov Meetup, and this is my first demo of Frame. So please go easy on me. Okay? Free pizza and drinks in the back for everybody if you're nice to me. So Frame. It's the easiest to use, most secure cloud platform that lets enterprises deliver what's called software-defined workspaces in the cloud. So what does this mean? Things like streaming applications, Windows applications, virtual desktop, the kind of things that you've probably seen on thin clients or run through Citrix with large infrastructure that's required in-house. This is the cloud way of doing it. Frame was founded in 2014. It's born in the cloud. It's cloud agnostic as well. So we support a bunch of different clouds, and I'll be demoing Azure integration today, along with some Office 365 integration that we're working on. So how does it work? So you sign up for a Frame account. You bring your apps. So you can bring any application that can run on a Windows machine. We can host in Frame and stream it to you. You pick your infrastructure, whether it be any of the mega cloud providers or hybrid cloud, private cloud, including VMware or Nutanix. We set up your account to plug into your authorization. So you can use usernames and passwords or emails and passwords, but we really recommend for enterprise users you set up with ADFS or Azure AD integration. We also support Okta and Ping and any other OAuth provider like Google. You can optionally connect your files. So what this means is if you have enterprise storage, if you have cloud accounts with the storage like OneDrive, if you have shared drives inside your enterprise where users have map drives or other shares of data within your enterprise, you can connect those into the platform and authorize those users into those accounts. And then you click publish, and you publish, and it generates a gold image of that VM that you created, and allows it to scale from however many users you want. So if you want to have this application set available to one user, or if you want it available to 1,000 users, Frame takes care of that heavy lifting of managing the infrastructure, managing the buffers, making sure that the right number of instances are available, right number of VMs are available at all times for the users, depending on the time of day, depending on the workload that you have. So the key at the top here is the protocol. Frame's soul is this protocol. The founder and CEO, Nicola, it's like one of his children, I think, this protocol. It's a HTTP protocol that works over SSL, standard SSL port 443, so there's no need to open up any strange firewall ports to connect to this. It streams right into the browser with no plugins, no other software required. And so what this allows you to do is deliver Windows applications, in particular Windows applications, including custom applications, to end users without any software to have to be installed on their part. In addition to that special sauce, the protocol, it's also a full platform, right? So there's metering, there's analytics, there's access control, storage integration, capacity management, there's reporting, billing information that's built in, and it really just manages the user experience and automates all of the heavy lifting for you. You can get started right away without any sort of investment from engineering. So I've mentioned these things: infinite scale, metered billing, really phenomenal performance that I'm not going to be able to demo here today over the Wi-Fi because I'm having some trouble with the Wi-Fi. But one-click simplicity, fully programmable, and I mentioned that zero footprint. So that's really the difference from traditional VDI, which is a heavy lift, big investment up front. Frame is one user account, one sign up, one VM, and then you scale up from there for whatever your needs are. So we're a startup based in California. We have the Reston office. We have offices in Europe as well. Microsoft is one of a couple of investors who noticed what Frame was doing and paid attention, and has actually put a significant investment in Frame last year, and that has really borne fruit on a couple of levels. We've had great experiences working with the Azure engineers and other Azure Gov engineers on storage integration and Office integration. We're running on Azure today in our commercial region, and we're going to be running on Azure Gov in the near future. That's all I'll say about that. So the demo I'm going to do is a pretty simple demo, but I think it relates to the audience here of OneDrive and how you have a large enterprise, let's say, with files in OneDrive that the users share or have as their individual drives. And today, your options are to open those files in the native web browser versions of Office, like so of Web Word or Office 365 web apps like Excel and Word that are kind of pared down from the full Office installs. And that doesn't really cut it for a lot of users, I think. I think there's some power users that really want full functionality of Excel, that want Visio, that want PowerPoint, that want the real apps. And so your only option today is to have those users download and install the full Office stack, or you install it for them for users that are doing things like access databases and things like that. That requires them, as they roam from place to place, they have to install it everywhere, right? So this is where Frame comes in, and it allows you to deliver full applications that are running on a Windows machine, but in the browser, and an experience that's almost identical to the way that the Office 365 web apps work. So, I can exit the demo. So I've logged into Office 365. And in this example, we've got Frame, through the Frame APIs, we have, along with the usual Outlook, Word, PowerPoint web apps, you'll also see there's a Visio, there's Project, and then there's some other tools as well. Basically any Windows product that you want to use. So in a way similar to if someone wanted to open from their Office 365 or OneDrive homepage, I can launch Visio, and this is going to open up a session. It's going to, if there's not already a running VM inside of Azure, either in your tenant or in ours, it's going to start one up. It's establishing the connection. It's measuring the bandwidth and the latency, and then it's going to launch you right in. So now we're looking at, in the browser here, full version of Visio running without me having to install any plugins or any clients. And it behaves, and here's the Wi-Fi problem I was telling you about. No signal at all. So if the internet was working, then this works great, right? But this is the kind of example where it behaves exactly as though it's on the desktop, right? And this does actually do very well in high latency network environments and low bandwidth network environments. We have customers that run workloads that follow the clock around the world, and their users will be connecting to data centers that are the closest to them based on the time of day. And Frame handles the capacity management of making sure that enough VMs are available for the number of users as they go through. Once you're in the app, once you're in Frame, you can see you can kind of switch between applications here. So I have this particular image for this customer has Project and Visio and Access and PowerPoint, and you can switch through these just as though you were on a Windows VM, but you can see them really just in a browser tab, and you really can't tell the difference. The normal user interface, what I showed you, I guess, was the way that's integrated into Office. That's one way you can do it. This is the normal interface that you see with Frame, which is, we call it the Launchpad. And so basically for a particular tenant in Frame, you can install whatever applications you want your users to be able to use. So in this case, we've got, like I said, the Office stack and a variety of other ones. And I can open up these apps from here, and it's going to find me a VM that's available. And if there's not one, it's going to boot one up based on that image and connect me to it. And a similar type of experience, right? In the browser, no plugins, no software installed whatsoever, right? It'll run on your phone, on your iPad, on your Chrome, on your Raspberry Pi, on your thin client. It'll run on, is there anything it can't run on, Jason? I don't think so. It runs on everything. My boss is in the back, so say hi to my boss, right? Yeah. So today it is not integrated directly with OneDrive, right? That like you can, once you're logged into a session, I can sign in with my, because the sessions are they're ephemeral. So from a security perspective, when you come into a session, no one's ever used that before. That's a blank slate, it's clean, it's just for you. And then when you sign out, it's wiped clean, it goes away. So the next time you come in, it's a blank clean session again. And if you want to integrate it into OneDrive, then you sign in, pull your files in, but they download very quickly because the VM is running in Azure right next to the OneDrive servers. So there's no sort of latency over the internet for it to get to you, right?
What is the minimal bandwidth to get a desktop-like experience?
So there isn't really a minimal bandwidth. Of course, the more bandwidth, the better. I think the protocol is really, really efficient with bandwidth. So Jason, back, maybe we can talk after. We could give some examples. We could do a demo of where we have simulated really low bandwidth, and we can still deliver over, like from data centers in Australia, we can deliver streaming 4K video type of thing over the protocol.
Do you guys have like a mobile app so you can carry the look anywhere?
We do not have a mobile, well, we did have a mobile app, but we're retiring it because your browser is the way that you do that, right? So on your phone, it's really just the browser. The mobile app was just a shell for a browser, so we're going to get rid of the mobile app, right? So I've shown kind of simple things like desktop productivity apps, but I've kicked off over here while I was waiting a demo just to kind of show the alternate power that you can have. So it's up to you if you want the users to run workloads on lightweight machines, so like single core CPU, 4 gig of RAM type size VMs, but you can also use really powerful machines that are in the cloud on an hourly basis, right? Short-term rentals of really powerful 64 gigs of RAM, graphics cards, heavy compute, and allow people to do things like 3D applications like this, or global positioning type systems, or 3D rendering, or movie production. And this again is, I'm just in the browser here in a frame session connected to a server that's 1,300 miles away. I think this is running in Texas. What's that? Yep. And this is just Google Earth, the full Google Earth Pro running just to kind of simulate what a 3D streaming experience is like. So, in summary, best-in-class protocol. We can do individual applications, and it's all user-controlled based on what you want your users to have access to, which applications. We can also do full desktops, Linux desktops, Windows desktops, because that's something that their customers have really asked for more recently. You can run them in the lightweight VMs from a cost-saving perspective for pennies an hour, or you can leverage the really powerful compute capabilities that are available in the cloud if you have specialized workloads that need that, and anywhere in between. It's cloud agnostic. I mentioned it works in Azure, Amazon, C2S, VMware, Azure Gov coming soon, and Windows and Linux desktops as well. So I'll take your questions. I hope I can answer them. Go ahead.
So what kind of customization do you have as far as an admin? So let's say I own my company and I'm trying to deploy an application that I want customizations for. So what kind of environment would I have to build out this application? So say it's based on Photoshop, for example, and then I have a bunch of templates and a bunch of brushes that I want to deploy on all of my applications that I'm going to give to all my employees. Is it like a workstation-based template, or is it an application-based template?
So it's basically a virtual. Yes, I'm sorry. So if I get your question correctly, it's how do you manage customizations such as Photoshop plugins or brushes or filters, that type of thing, and distribute those to your users. It works on kind of a snapshot basis. So there's something we call a sandbox, which for every customer, they get a sandbox. And that's just a Windows server in the cloud. You log into that through Frame, install whatever applications you want, add plugins, add whatever customizations you want, set the permissions for different users, and then you snapshot that and say, publish this. And then you set thresholds as to how many you want to have in your fleet. Like if you want to start off with 5 servers during the day and keep a couple in the buffer, or if you want to have hundreds because everyone uses it on Monday morning, and Frame will kind of scale up and down automatically based on the usage. I'm not sure that answers your question, but it's basically whatever customizations you want, and you snapshot that image, and then that's what everyone gets. Right? Any other questions? Yeah?
How does this differ from like remote app or Citrix launcher?
So that's where I'll defer to Jason in the back. Actually, Jason, why don't you come up and answer the question, because you do this really well. How does it differ from remote app or Citrix launcher? Right?
So,
Sorry to throw you under the bus, but I want to make sure the answer is correct. Right?
So Frame was, so like Mark mentioned, like Frame was kind of, we started out in 2012, right? And we started out in 2012 with the design focus on Frame was going to be a completely 100% cloud native, cloud delivered solution and capability. And so what we've done is kind of designed the protocol that Mark mentioned from scratch to deliver the best possible performance via cloud infrastructure and cloud capabilities. So the real difference in the Citrix and VMware and the other traditional VDI solutions are competing capabilities of Frame. But we believe that Frame, kind of starting from scratch as a cloud native capability, leveraging the kind of video encoding and video streaming expertise that our founding team brings to the challenge set, really gives us an advantage not only over our ability to deliver the apps in a really performant manner, regardless of the network connection that you have or you're experiencing, but as far as like redesigning it for cloud delivery to make it very simple, very easy to install, very easy to deliver your applications to your users. What Mark just showed you, that one account that had that full suite of applications, you can literally, the time to start and then deliver that capability is just a matter of hours, right? So a key differentiator there is the simplicity and not only the delivery, but the administration and management of the Frame platform.